In a small and cozy workshop lived a kind old carpenter named Geppetto, a man whose biggest dream was to have a son of his own. One winter evening, he carved a wooden puppet from a special piece of shimmering golden wood he had found in the forest. Geppetto smiled and said, "I'll name you Pinocchio." He placed the puppet carefully on the table and sighed, "If only you were real." But that night, as moonlight touched the wooden puppet, something extraordinary happened. The glowing wood shimmered, the puppet blinked, and Pinocchio came to life. Pinocchio looked around the workshop in wonder. "Father, are you there?" Geppetto sat up suddenly and gasped, You can talk." Pinocchio laughed with joy and hugged him tightly. It was the happiest moment Geppetto had ever known. Then, in a swirl of shimmering blue light, the blue fairy appeared. "Pinocchio, you live because your heart is pure, but to become a real boy, you must always be honest and kind." Pinocchio nodded eagerly, "I promise." But magic wood has a mind of its own, and Pinocchio's journey was just beginning. The next morning, Geppetto sent Pinocchio to school. But on his way, a sneaky fox and his clever partner, the cat, jumped in front of him. Fox: "Why go to boring old school? Come with us. We know a place filled with fun and games." Pinocchio hesitated. He remembered the blue fairy's words, but the idea of fun was too tempting. So he lied. "I'm not going to school. Father said I can go anywhere I want." Suddenly, poof! Pinocchio's wooden nose grew longer. Pinocchio gasped in shock. Cat: "Look at that! The wooden boy lies!" Ashamed, Pinocchio ran as fast as his wooden legs could move. Deep in the forest, a soft blue glow appeared. The blue fairy had returned. She crossed her arms gently. "Pinocchio, what have you done?" Pinocchio lowered his head. "I didn't want Father to be upset. I only told a small lie." His nose grew even longer. The fairy touched it, and it returned to normal. She crossed her arms gently. "Remember this. Every lie takes you farther from being real, but every truth brings you closer." Pinocchio wiped his tears and nodded. When Pinocchio reached home, something was terribly wrong. Geppetto was missing. A worried neighbor ran to him. "He went searching for you. A storm hit the sea. He hasn't come back." Pinocchio's heart trembled with guilt. He ran to the shore and leaped into the waves. "I'll find you, Father!" A giant whale rose from the water and swallowed him whole. Inside the whale's belly, a small lantern flickered. It was Geppetto! Geppetto came for me. Pinocchio hugged him tightly. "I'm sorry, Father. I'll never lie again." Together they built a fire. The smoke rose up, and the whale sneezed. "Achoo!" sending them flying safely back into the sea. Back home, exhausted and trembling, Pinocchio collapsed into Geppetto's arms. A gentle blue light filled the room. The blue fairy appeared one last time. "You have shown courage, kindness, and honesty. Pinocchio, you are now a real boy." In a burst of golden light, the wooden puppet transformed into a living, breathing child. Geppetto's eyes filled with tears. "My real son!" Pinocchio hugged him with a smile brighter than the sun. And from that day on, he lived truthfully because he had learned that honesty holds the strongest magic of all.